Hey everyone, this is Shashank S, having the US in 1E21 EC81. So today's topic is going to be curve fitting by the method of least squares. So the content of today is introduction, why curve fitting is important, the method of least square for curve fitting, fitting curves of the form parabola, applications, advantages and disadvantages, and conclusion. So what is curve fitting? Curve fit is an approach to regression analysis. This method of fitting equation, which approximate the curves of the given raw data, is the least squares. It is quite obvious that fitting of curves for a particular data set are not always unique. The objective of curve fitting is to theoretically describe the experimental data with the model and to find the parameters associated with this model. Curve fitting is always a powerful statistical technique used to identify patterns in data and make predictions. So why is curve fitting important? So there are three main aspects in that: pattern identification, prediction, and insightful data analysis. So pattern identification basically means curve fitting helps us identify patterns that may be difficult to see otherwise. Like all these fingerprint patterns and all these face patterns are decoded using curve fitting. Prediction. Fitted curves can be used to make prediction about the future outcomes. Like this helps, like the weather. So this is one of the main methods they use to find weather. Insightful data analysis. Curve fitting can improve insights into relationship between variables and help us understand complex systems. So, what is the method of least square for curve fitting? Definition. The method of least square is a mathematical technique used to find the curve that best fits a set of data points by minimizing the sum of squares of the differences between the predicted and actual values. Example, for a simple linear regression, we would find the line of best fit by minimizing the sum of squares of the differences between the predicted value and the actual values of the independent variable. So we can actually find the line of regression by just by knowing the predicted values and the actual values of the dependent table. So for us to find the curve of regression, it has to be a dependent variable. For independent variable, it is not possible to find the curve fitting. So what are the advantages and limitations of curve fitting is? The method of least square is flexible and widely used technique that can be applied to many types of data and models. It also provides a measure of uncertainty for the fitted parameters. So what it basically tells us is like we can find a wide range of data just by knowing like the fitted parameters. So the limitations is the method of least square assumes that the errors in the data are normally distributed and independent. It can also be sensitive to outliers or the influential points to the data. So what it basically means that it only gives values for the dependent variable. For independent variables, curve fit method doesn't apply. So curve fit method in the form of parabola. What is parabolic curve? A parabolic curve is a U-shaped curve that can be described by equation that is y is equal to ax square plus bx plus c, where a, b, and c are the constant and x is the dependent variable. So x varies the values according to the table, and it forms a curve with respect to y-axis. So this is a parabola. So applications of parabolic curve is that parabola have practical applications including physics. That is, for example, to model a projectile motion. So a lot of cricketers use a lot of cricket analysis find the distance of the six by using this parabolic application. Engineering to find design the antennas or parabolic reflectors. So we have to communicate data between a lot longer distance. So we make curves in a way that the message signal and the signals will modulate in a way, and it can travel over a longer distance. And for optics, to create parabolic mirrors or lenses. So if you have observed, the lenses are usually curved like this. So that is also a parabola. So what if you find any curves like this, it is parabola, not in a T. Real life examples of parabolic curves. The shape of the suspension bridge can be approximated by the parabolic curve, as can the arc of the Gothic cathedral or the shape of the satellite dish. Like I told, have you ever wondered like, why your antenna dishes or the dish TVs are like in the form of parabola? This is the main reason, because they tend to receive more signal, and if they're curved like this, they can find signals over a larger distance. So this is one of the main application of parabola. Application of curve fitting in various fields. Science. Since it is obviously a mathematical field, it has direct application to science. So curve fitting is used in many fields of science such as biology, chemistry, and physics. So almost everything is used for analyzing the data of, like example, like population growth or spectroscopic data in chemistry field. In finance also it's used as have you ever seen the stock markets? So that is also an example of curve fitting, because you don't know how the value goes next. So you can guess the value just by reading the graph. So this is also an example, a major example of curve fitting. Environmental studies, like I told, like how the global warming temperature changes, how the ice melts over the glaciers over the years. So these are the example applications of curve fitting in real life. So comparison of curve fitting with other statistical methods. There are three more statistical methods like regression analysis, smooth methods, and interpolation. Interpolation is used to estimate the values of the range of known data points, while the curve fitting is used to find the line or the curve of the best fits of all the data. So interpolation basically only finds a range of the known data. So what curve fitting does is it can find the range of unknown data. So like if it is going like that, it can give a major guess of like if it continue going straight or drop back down. So this is the comparison of curve fitting with other statistical methods. So advantages and disadvantages of using curve fitting is curve fitting can provide insights to the relationship between variables and help us understand the system. Fitted curves can be used to make predictions about the future outcomes and trends. So this is the advantage of using curve fitting. The disadvantages is the method of least square assumes that the errors in the data are normally distributed and independent. This method can also be sensitive to outliers and influential points in the data. So, like I told, this can only be used for dependent variables. For independent variables, if there is like sudden drop, it won't be able to handle the data. So, conclusion is the least square method is a statistical procedure to find the best fit for a set of data points. This method works by minimizing the sum of offsets or residual points from the plotted curves. Least square regression is used to predict the behavior of a dependent variable. So that's it for today. I hope you understand the topic. Please like the video and comment down if you ever feel something or if you have any doubts. So thank you. Peace out, y'all.